Look at this guy. Seriously, just look at him. He is currently walking straight down that tree trunk head first, as if gravity is just a suggestion he's decided to ignore today. If a woodpecker tried that, he'd probably tumble right off. But this little dynamo is moving like he's got magnets in his feet. This is the white-breasted nuthatch, and while most birds are looking up at the world, this guy has built his entire life around seeing everything from the other side. If you think he's just another grey bird at your feeder, you are missing out on one of the most clever, social and physically talented specialists in your backyard.
This is the white-breasted nuthatch. He's a year-round resident in most of North America, which means he's one of your most loyal neighbours. But did you notice the face? That long, straight, slightly upturned bill? It looks almost like a pair of surgical tools. And look at the top of the head. Did you notice that cap? Here is a pro tip for your next bird-watching session. If that cap is a deep, shiny black, you're looking at a male. If it's a softer, muted grey, that's a female.
But the real superpower of the nuthatch isn't the colour of its crown, it's those feet. Unlike woodpeckers or creepers, who use their stiff tail feathers like a tripod to prop themselves up, the nuthatch has no tail support at all. He relies entirely on his incredibly strong legs and one specialised extra long hind toe claw that acts like a climbing anchor. He's the only bird in your yard that can spiral down a tree head first, and there is a very smart, very thoughtful reason why he does it.
Now, watch what happens here. Notice the woodpecker in the background. He's climbing up the tree, looking into the cracks of the bark from below. He's searching for insects hiding in the bottom of those crevices. But here's the crazy part. The nuthatch knows that the woodpecker is missing half the food. By walking down the tree, the nuthatch sees into the top of those same bark furrows that the upward climbing birds completely bypass. He's essentially checking the roof of every little insect apartment that the woodpeckers ignored. It is a brilliant niche strategy. He isn't competing with the other birds. He's just cleaning up the leftovers they weren't physically built to see. Because he's looking down, he also has a massive advantage in spotting ground-based predators like cats or snakes before they even get close to the base of the tree. He's using his perspective to gather data that no one else in the neighbourhood watch has access to. Did you notice he didn't eat that seed? He's caching it. Just like the chickadees, nuthatches are master hoarders. He's going to find a deep furrow in the bark, wedge that seed in there tight, and then, here's where his name comes from, he's going to hatch it. The word nuthatch actually comes from nut hack. He uses the bark as a literal vice to hold the seed still while he hacks away at it with his bill until it splits open. Look at that! He isn't just randomly sticking things in the tree. He's making a long-term investment. Research on birds' spatial memory shows that nuthatches can remember the locations of thousands of these individual hack sites for months. Every time you see him visit your feeder for a high-fat sunflower seed, he's likely not just getting a snack, he's signing a deed to your property. He has decided your yard is a high-value resource, and he's building a pantry across your oak and maple trees that will keep him alive through the toughest January freezes. Did you see that? He didn't even see the hawk, but he stopped dead. That's because the nuthatch is a professional eavesdropper. In the winter,
Nuthatches often join mixed-species flocks led by chickadees. Why? Because nuthatches know that chickadees have the most sophisticated alarm system in the world. Scientists call this heterospecific eavesdropping. The nuthatch essentially speaks chickadee. He knows that if the chickadee adds more Ds to the end of its call, there's a small, fast predator nearby, and he needs to freeze. By following the chickadees, the nuthatch gets a 24/7 security detail, allowing him to spend more time focused on finding those hidden insects in the bark and less time scanning the sky. He's built his entire social life around being the most informed guy in the woods by listening to what everyone else is saying about you and the local hawks.
No way! Fact 1. The wing spread bluff. No way, right? This is a classic nuthatch threat display. Because they're relatively small, they've developed this dramatic behavioural trick to defend their space. When a rival or an intruder gets too close, the nuthatch will spread its wings out in a broad, flat fan and just freeze. It's trying to make itself look like a much larger, more intimidating creature. It's essentially a high-stakes game of chicken, and more often than not, the other bird gets confused by the sudden change in shape and decides to find a different branch. No way! Fact 2. The upside-down sleeper. Think they only climb upside down? They sleep that way too. While many birds huddle on a branch, nuthatches often roost in tree cavities or behind loose bark, frequently clinging to the side of the wood. Like many of our backyard favourites, they utilise unihemispheric slow-wave sleep, where half their brain is deep asleep, while the other half stays awake to monitor for owls. So even while he's sleeping, he's still technically on duty, scanning the dark with one eye open for any movement in the yard. So, the next time you see that little blue-grey spiral moving down your tree, remember, you're looking at a gravity-defying specialist who sees the world from a perspective most of us will never understand. He's a memory master, a social genius, and a brave little defender of his own personal pantry in your yard. The relationship we have with these regulars is built on the quiet consistency of just being there. When he stays on that bark while you walk past, it's because he's calculated, based on months of watching you, that you are a safe, predictable feature of his home. What birds are you seeing at your feeder right now? Do you have a nuthatch that's bold enough to stay when you come outside? Drop it in the comments. I love hearing your upside-down stories. And if you want to know why this little bird is actually performing a complex mathematical calculation every time he picks up a seed, you definitely won't want to miss our next video. Thanks for watching Feather Files. I'll see you in the next one.